Now, what do you do with the data? You can use it in many ways. You identify strengths and weaknesses. Candidate A can be better on foreign policy or weak on domestic policy. The only way to know is to find out and to ask people. Pinpointing messages that would work well in the context of a campaign. Entire speeches are tested to ensure that the best parts can be used again and again and again. And defining the issue, which is very important. I'm sure Maria will talk about it later. The process lets the candidate or party see what the electorate really would like to discuss. So I'm going to show you 3 examples, 2 of them from the United States. This is a survey that we conducted in the summer, looking at the way Americans felt about Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. And you can see they are asked to rate them exclusively. They're not rating one against the other, so the numbers are not going to add up to 100. But we're asking them, do you think this candidate possesses these qualities? And you see Obama seen as more honest, both seen as 2 candidates who generally agree with you on issues that you care about, which is important for the American electorate. Both were not really seen as uniters, 33% is pretty low. Sharing your values, same thing, can bring the kind of change America needs. Romney's doing a little bit better. He's a good speaker and communicator, definitely Obama, 72% compared to 51%. He's a good economic manager, look at that change. 29% for Obama, 43% for Romney. And can deal with labor unions in the event of a dispute, roughly even. So these are the key numbers right there. People look at Obama and say, he's really inspiring, I like him. 72% saying that you're a good speaker and communicator means that even Republicans are looking at you and saying, we gotta be careful with this guy. And being a good economic manager at 30% means that there are, and it's a tool that we use to test speeches. We did this with the speech that Romney gave after the closing speech of the Republican convention earlier this year. And we wanted to test it with undecided, uncommitted voters in the battleground states. So we took voters from 11 states that are going to decide in the election that is happening next week and showed them clips of Romney. And we wanted to see whether some of the messages that he was talking about were going to resonate. It's 5 minutes long, but we're only going to see the first 2 minutes because there's something I want you to see.
In our best days, we can feel the vibrancy of America.
Sorry. Red line is annoyance. Orange line is excitement. And green line is interest. Interest.
There's communities, large and small. It's when we see that new business opening up downtown. It's when we go to work in the morning and see everybody else on the block doing the same thing. It's when our son or daughter calls from college to talk about which job that offer they should take, and you try not to choke up when you hear that the one they like best is not too far from home. It's that good feeling when you have more time to volunteer to coach your kid's soccer team or help out on school trips. But for too many Americans, those kind of good days are harder to come by. How many days have you woken up feeling that something really special was happening in America? Many of you felt that way on Election Day 4 years ago. Hope and change had a powerful appeal. But tonight, I'd ask a simple question. If you felt that excitement when you voted for Barack Obama, shouldn't you feel that way now that he's President Obama? You know there's something wrong with the kind of job he's done as president when the best feeling you had was the day you voted for him.
So, that was supposed to be the big moment. Like, America, think about it. You're not as excited as Obama as you were the day you voted for him. That's the highest level of annoyance in the entire clip. He's never said that again. Then it really became an issue of, oh, this is about the economy and management. They probably tested the hell out of this. And they came to the same conclusion, like, this is not an issue that is going to win us the next election. When I talk about the fact that people were excited about Obama, and now they're not, and the best day was when they voted for him, the audience just drops. Look at the level of annoyance. And look at the level of interest. The best moment he had in the entire speech was when he was talking about family and coaching your kid's soccer team. We're not looking for a daddy, we're looking for a president. And that's part of the problem that they had with this particular speech. And he hasn't really talked about these issues anymore. Like, there's things that they test. They realized I would be better off talking about the economy than if I'm hammering Obama for the supposed lack of excitement and talking about, life in America. Now, defining the issue, this is a very interesting graph, and this is a survey that we did out of our own interest before the Vancouver election last year. And there was all this talk about Occupy affecting the race, the discussions that the MPA was having as far as trying to use the issue to their benefit and trying to hammer the mayor with something that was supposedly top of mind. The way we do this exercise is you ask people to rate whether the city has been doing a good job dealing with all of these issues. This is the line that goes from top to bottom. You can see it on the left-hand side. And then the importance that the same voter places on all of these issues. So ideally what you want to have is a situation where high on good job, and high on importance, which is the right-hand side top. Those are the issues that are going to define the election. If you do well with something like that, you're going to be just fine. And what we see there is people are happy with the environmental issues, with public safety, and with garbage pickup and other sanitation services. And people tell me, do we really vote based on sanitation services? And I always tell them, ask Sam Sullivan. We have this, where is Occupy? Occupy is right in the middle. It's not that I'm really happy with the way it's been handled, but I'm not going to base my vote based on what is happening with Occupy. It's there with dealing with the Olympic Village situation, which is not really the issue that you would try to hammer out in an election, implementing policies to help small businesses, and even allowing homeowners to keep hands in backyard coops. So look at the importance of Occupy. Thinking about all of the ink that was used for this, thinking about all of those minutes that the TV station spent on it, partly because it was a couple of blocks away from CTV and 6 blocks away from CBC, so it was a good story to focus on. But look at it. It's right in the middle. It's not going to define the next election. So even if the MPA tries to do this, I'm not going to get voters who are happy with sanitation, environment, public safety to change the way they view things. And ultimately, that's what happened on election day. Now, there's also this quick process called segmentation, which is when you ask all of these questions, you're able to realize how somebody will feel about politics. I'm going to breeze through it because I know we're I'm a little bit over my time here. Let's go to the next one. So you ask people several questions about how they feel about voters, how they are doing when it comes to specific things, and you find that there's several schools of thought. There's the invigorated right, people who are pro-politics and happy as long as the Tories win. There's the mid-left hopefuls who were really unhappy. This is something we did before the last election. They were happy with being liberals, happy with being center-left, but unhappy about Michael Ignatieff, and of course that's what happened in the end. You have the mistrustful middle, people who have fairly centrist tendencies, but are skeptical, but not cynical about politics. And then we have the last two groups, which are Dash Hope citizens. They have left of center views, but are having despair of any party representing, to be honest. And we have serious cynics, people who just don't care about politics. Now, this is how it came out when we did the analysis of the electorate. So 14% completely cynical. These are voters, these are not your average Joe. So voters who are completely cynical, 18% who said there's no hope left, 34% who are like, I don't know where I'm going to park my vote. And that is the key to the election, because you have 20% of invigorated rights, 13% of mid-left hopefuls. What we saw at the end of this campaign was that the mistrustful middle, the NDP, particularly after we had those debates and the orange crush happening, they moved towards the NDP. The mid-left hopefuls also moved towards the NDP. Dash Hope citizens a little bit moved towards the NDP, but that invigorated right, that 20% was what made this election happen for the Tories. But it's important to look at this not from the standpoint of who you're going to vote for. That's a good story for the media, and it's fun for us too. But there's more to it than just who you're going to vote for in the next election. And if we have time, I'll show you a second-by-second debate analysis, but we can do that later, or you can see it on the website. Thank you.